Hello everyone, my name is Andreas Tziolas and I'm the president and one of the founders of Icarus Interstellar. When we started Icarus Interstellar, we wanted to explore what the human capabilities are for interstellar flight. We realized that in order to pursue such a forward-thinking goal and a difficult goal, we would have to harness the abilities and the skills and the imagination of everyone around us. So we decided to found this organization as a non-profit, citizen-driven, formally research organization which would focus as a goal on the research and not just the space advocacy, which is covered by many other groups. So in the time since we were founded, I think we're in our 7th year now, since 2011, 2012, we've been very successful in identifying what the technological barriers are. So we do things like study fusion drives, nuclear propulsion, sustainability systems, things like renewable resources, power sources, shielding, and we've solar sails. We've done the team has done just a really fantastic job in bringing us up to a standard where we've pulled together the knowledge that we have currently on what it would take to get it done. In order to bring in people and to celebrate our capabilities, we started a conference. So Starship Congress is the name of Icarus's conference. The first one was in Fort Worth, Dallas-Fort Worth in 2013. It was an amazing event. We had about 150 attendees, wonderful list of speakers, and we really wanted to focus on community. So we formed these panels where we could bring together people, representatives from every interstellar organization that we could get a hold of to sit down and just talk with people, with the audience, in a single track conference where people could just see where the current state of thinking is. So that was very successful, and we were able to just get the idea of what we are and what we're supposed to be doing out there into the public. So we pride ourselves on failure. So we saw what worked, from feedback that we got from 2015, from 2013. We understood how we might improve ourselves. And one of the things that really stood out was to reach out to student groups. So that form student chapters and that kind of thing. So in the second Starship Congress, which happened in 2015 at Drexel University, it was co-located with the location of one of our most successful chapters. So Drexel University, the people over there have just done such a fantastic job in reflecting what Icarus Interstellar does and recruiting other people into the program, and continuing the research into the interstellar CubeSats and advanced pulse jet magneto-inertial fusion drives and things that people weren't picking up, and they just did such a great job. We also coupled that with something that we called an interstellar hackathon. So a hackathon, if you haven't heard of that before, it's just a really intense workshop. A hackathon is you get everyone in the same room. It's you usually try to lock them in for 24 hours, 48 hours, and you task them with just hard working and coming up with solutions. We didn't quite lock everyone up, for hours at a time, but we made a point of dedicating the evenings of every day of Starship Congress 2015 to have an interstellar hackathon. So people sat around in tables, self-organized topics, why are we doing what we're doing, how are we going to handle communications, what's the philosophy of the Starship, what does it mean to be on a starship? Where are we supposed to go? And what's the destination? And what do we do once we get there? So people tackled a whole bunch of amazing ideas, even things like an interstellar exploration board game. So that people can, and like children and young people and adults, of course, could play a game and understand that there's various subsystems and understand what the local interstellar neighborhood is. Just these also amazing things. So here we are in 2017, and we're about to announce our next Starship. So Starship Congress 2017 is going to be in Monterey, in California. So we've had really good response from folks in California. It's a nerve center for space exploration. There's so many new space companies emerging out there. We're just in the heart of Silicon Valley, and close to the Bay Area. NASA, Ames, SpaceX. Everyone is out there, and we figure it's a really good place to host the conference. But the most important part of Starship Congress 2017 is what we've realized that we're carrying forward from the previous conference. And we're at a point now where we've identified the issues and the concerns with spacecraft, with deep space and interstellar exploration. We don't know how to solve everything, right? But we do know where the problems are. We do know that we need to, create interstellar grade fuels, deuterium, tritium, helium isotopes, and that kind of thing that are conducive to fusion drives. Invest in nuclear propulsion and shielding, and really understand how you would build a sustainable spacecraft, with crew, and what would they do on the journey there. So we have a handle on it. We haven't solved it all, but we have a good handle on it. But something that people have been asking us throughout our existence, really since we very first started off in 2009, as Project Icarus back then was when are you going to bend metal? And what's the next milestone? Like, what's the goal? What is the next objective? So we sat down and we thought long and hard, and the next objective really is the moon. Like, there's no sustainable space exploration program for humankind without the moon. It won't be possible. It's an object that it's our own moon. It's something that we've been neglecting for several decades. I know that there's many camps. People say the moon or Mars, or an L3 space station, or something like that. But it really is the moon, isn't it? So the moon has so the moon, and targeting how we get to the moon and what we do at the moon is our next objective. And that's caught some people by surprise. We're an interstellar research organization. We've been rather flamboyant about saying, we're not going to, we don't study Mars and planetary exploration and that kind of thing. We're only an interstellar spacecraft design and development group, and that was needed at the time where we really needed to focus on what our goal is. But what we want to focus on now is making space a place for everybody, and that means three things. It means massive space access, which means being able to get a lot of people in space, making space available to everyone, like a plane ticket. Being able to purchase a plane ticket. Anyone can purchase a plane ticket and go anywhere. Anyone can purchase a boat ticket and travel from any point in the planet to any other one. There's no regulation. There's nothing holding you back, because the technology has gotten to the point where they can offer that service. So how do we get space launch and space access technology to the point where we can get massive access to space to everyone. That's the point where space becomes a destination. It becomes a destination and not just a dream. Like right now, people dream of going to space. Like people may have dreamed of visiting Australia or visiting Africa, or the beautiful areas in India or something. You can do that. That's not, there's no obstacle to you actually doing that. It doesn't have to be a dream, it could be a goal. So how do we make space, or being in space, a goal for certain people? You can just access it. In order for that to happen, though, we need something else. We need a massive space-based infrastructure. So an MSBI is something that we've been throwing around for years. It basically means the industrialization of space. So the industrialization of space means they're understanding and appreciating that space is a resource. Low Earth gravity, the accessibility that it provides us for Earth observation, it in and of itself is not the void of space, but it's a resource for industries to develop. Like there's things that we can do in space that we can't do on the Earth. And there's an industry to develop around that, like just space tourism. You can just imagine just the building of, the growing of silicon crystals for semiconductors and that kind of thing. There's an amazing an amazing range of possibilities for what we can do in space. And fascinating, when you put the two together, when you get massive space access and a space-based infrastructure together, you'll have people traveling to space, and you'll have the properties, you have the ability to develop further, the capabilities for getting people into space and getting people into space safely. And as a milestone, is something that we've been calling internally is children in space. So children in space, getting to the point where we're confident enough to get children in space is the validation and the satisfaction of that capability of providing massive space-based access. And sort of progressing further on, setting as a goal to achieve, to provide that capability that space is a place for everybody, whether they're young, whether they're disabled, whether they're hard of hearing, whether they're, when you get on a plane ticket, that's not an obstacle for you, right? But if you conceive of, even if you had the ability to purchase a ticket to go into space, like that does become an issue. Like, so how do we get it to the point where the industry can provide that service to everybody? And we mean everybody. And finally, last but not least, is the moon. So the moon is everyone's in love with the moon. Everyone loves the moon. We gaze at the moon. We talk at the moon. The moon sort of is the first teacher for teaching our children, what space is and the distances, and we can see it and we can visualize it. But have you noticed that while artists, for example, or even in science fiction movies, there's you might see an amazing space station or with all the amenities, or you might see a beautiful otherworldly planet with these amazing sprawling bases and that kind of thing, but you rarely see that for the moon. Isn't that strange? Like, the moon should be a place where there would be massive, beautiful structures teeming with life and providing a ability for people to live there, build there, explore, and just live on another planet. So we could very quickly become a two-planet civilization if we invested in the moon. And so Starship Congress is dedicating. We're pulling back the reins on our mission to proliferate the understanding of what is needed for interstellar exploration by focusing on the moon, by making it a goal that's achievable, that is something that we've done before. We need to go back to the moon. We need to inspire people, kids, to think about the moon as a place where we can live and grow, and what would it take for us to be there? What is the city planning that would be needed? What do utilities look like? Will we have will we have hospitals on the moon? What would it take to staff them? How do we do mining on the moon? What secrets does the moon hide? And I can tell you that I live and work up in Alaska, and there's places where you can go out in the tundra and gaze way across a desert, like a flat desert. There's nothing grows there. Nothing grows there. No trees grow there. There's a couple of shrubs, and when the ice melts temporarily for like a month, a year, it's just swampland. Nothing. You can't help thinking that there's nothing there, nothing alive there, but it's teeming with life. It's there's incredible mineral wealth. There's an incredible beauty to the Arctic specifically, and how much more so for the rest of the planet. Like the secrets that our that our planet still has in store for us, and the secrets that the moon has in store for us, is something that we can experience, within our lifetimes, even now. Like, it only took us 7 years during the International Geophysical Year, when we first explored space, to go from the most basic rockets to the Apollo, to the Saturn V and the Apollo missions. Like, we could do that again. So with this conference in Starship Congress 2017, we invite you to come and be a part of this, to come share your ideas. The conference is a beautiful event. The venue is amazing. The city of Monterey is beautiful. I went there recently. I was just blown away. And we're a very congenial group, single track conference, like no multiple tracks and things. No one will ever miss out on anything. And we do this so that we can build capability and make space a place for everybody. So with that, I'll extend my invitation to everybody again. I just wanted to send you this personal message to just convey how we feel about what we're doing and what we're thinking of taking this, and hope to see you all in Monterey soon. Thank you very much.